y'all, welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. Today is my weekly WIP Chat, or a work in progress. I am going to be working on Maggie by Bayonet from Oraloa, and this one is a round. It has 50 colors, and I have already shown this on my channel. I did a little bit of what's showing on the square here. I did a little bit of that last week. And that's all I've done on this. So I have quite a bit of a way to go. I was hoping to get this finished in March, but I can almost guarantee that is not going to happen. And that's okay, right? It is just, it's not a race to the finish line. It is just when you have time, when you feel like doing it, and when you're able to do it, basically. So I'm going to go ahead, I am ready to get started because I have not diamond painted since last Tuesday. And that is a very, very long time for me. I'm going to be using this beautiful pen, and this is from Enabler's Outpost. It is a custom that Edward made for me. I'm also using, and of course I paid for it, but I asked him, told him what I wanted, and I got that one. I am using an Add More Zest tray. And I am using my art dot containers, as you can kind of see here. And then over here you can see a little bit. And so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I am using in my single placer, I am using a glue dot. I'm not sure how sticky it is. And also for my multi-placer, I am using Randa's Crafty Corner Putty. And so we'll see how it goes, because it has been here, just laying here on my desk since last Tuesday. And I don't know if it's going to be sticky or not. Right now it's looking pretty good. I'm hoping that for those of you that want to see what I am working on, you can. I had someone that seemed very annoyed with me, and I do apologize, but they said that they could not see my hand and they could not see what I was doing. And they said, "You've done it again." And so I do apologize for that. Sometimes I am out of frame. I know that I am. And I try to stay in frame as much as possible. I usually do not have this angle this far, this close to my hands, which to me it seems a little weird to just be able to see my hands so much. But for those of you that want to watch, I do apologize if you were not able to, or if that was offensive because you couldn't see it. So I am trying my best to do better today. I'm hoping that I can do some multi-placing here, and we shall see. Before I get started, let me know how everybody is doing. How was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? You do have really good weather. I want to know all the things. What are you working on? It seems like it's been forever since we have gotten together. Of course, it's only been since last week, but I had to film some of my videos early last week because I went on a retreat, a long weekend with one of my best friends, and I left early Thursday morning and did not get back home until late yesterday evening. So when I got home, I was exhausted. It took us about 6.5 hours or so to get home. We did get in a lot of traffic coming back, which was a little nerve-wracking. And then I had left her house, and then I had to drive home. And that was another hour and 15 minutes for me. So that was additional drive for me. And I was just tired when I got home because of the long drive. It had been a long weekend, and then having to pack the car on Sunday to leave the retreat, and then have to turn around, and I had to unpack my best friend's car with my stuff, pack it into my car, and let me tell you, my craft bag was super duper heavy. And then I had to, when I got home, I was going to unpack my car. I brought a couple of things in, and my husband said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll get it after dinner. I'll be glad to take care of that for you." I thought that was really sweet of him. But guess what, guys? My stuff, where is it? It is Monday late afternoon, and guess what? My stuff is still in my car. So this morning, when I went to get ready to go out this morning, I didn't have any of my toiletries or anything because guess what? They were in the car. So I had to go out to the car. I got my suitcase and whatever I just absolutely had to have. And then I still have to get my craft case. And so he called me earlier and he said, I will bring your craft case in. Don't worry about it. But I know that he's going to be tired from work today, and I really don't mind. So that was really sweet of him last night. He just got tired and forgot. But he wasn't, trying to avoid me or anything. He just completely forgot about it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it before he gets home, just so he doesn't have to do it. I can get it out of the car into the house, but I cannot get it down into my craft room because it is a beast. It is extremely heavy. We were told when we went to this retreat, gave us a list of items that we are going to need for classes and for make and takes. And so, like a good follower, I went ahead and I decided that I'm going to take what she says. I never, ever, ever bring this much stuff when I go to a retreat. I never take this much stuff when it's just my best friend and I, and we rent a cabin or do something else, because we always do something in March or April. And I went ahead and did all the things. I didn't use half of what was in my bag. And she didn't use half of what was in her bag either. A lot of things we brought and we were going to share because that way we wouldn't have to bring even more stuff, and we didn't use any of that stuff. We didn't have any classes. We had one that we kind of worked on, not really together, but she would give some steps on how you can do this one project. And so we didn't need but just a few things for that. But I'm glad I had it, because if I didn't have what I needed, then I would, be upset about that. So anyway, we did have a fabulous, fabulous time. And I know that several of you had even sent me messages, emails, and saying you hope that, I have a nice time, is in the description or the comments. Also, that several of you have texted me or emailed me, and I really do appreciate it. It was different. It was a retreat that we were not expecting it to be the way that it was. And I think that this one may be a one and done. I don't know if we will go back next year. Right now, my thought process is it was a little too intense, possibly for us. And I don't feel like we really fit in very well. Whereas with all the other retreats we've been going on for over 15 plus years together, we never have come away feeling like, we were just outcast or whatever. And I don't know, I just felt a little off on this retreat. And, it wasn't just all the ones that were there. It was, me too. I'm not going to say my best friend as well, but we stayed just mainly the two of us because we didn't know those people. We didn't, we were busy with everything that we were doing. And so we didn't just sit around. We went there to craft. We went there for a particular reason. I'm going to have to add some more to my multi-placer if I'm going to multi-place, and I need to do that. I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to take out what's in here, if there's any left in here. I don't know if I can still use this. This is from Distracted by Diamonds. I've had this stuff for at least 3 years, and it's really hard, so I don't know if I can even get this in here. I don't think so. This is something that's going to have to, I think, thaw out or something. I'm not really sure. Let me see what I can do. Let's see. I was able to scrape a blob in here, but it is so hard that I don't know if I can use this right now. I may just have to let it sit out and thaw out some. Let's see. Let's see what this is going to do. And I picked up 3. Okay, so anyway, I may end up having, I'm going to use this. I found it. I haven't used it in forever, but it is really, really hard. It's not like your typical, this is more wax and putty. And we'll just see how it goes. I may just end up single placing. But anyway, going on the retreat was a lot of fun. I went and met her at her house early Thursday morning. We got everything in her car. We left and decided to go a back way instead of going the highway, because we would have to go through downtown Atlanta during rush hour. And my husband had called and he said that there were some wrecks and downtown was just really, really backed up. So decided to go this back way, and she has excellent GPS. So we took her SUV, which was completely full, I might add, between everything that we needed to take with us. And we did go the back way. There were a lot of twists and turns on the back way, but we never got lost. We were able to follow GPS without any problems. GPS got us there safe and sound, which was very good. But we were going through just all these back roads to where it was such a back road. There was nothing there. There was not any cows. There wasn't any vegetation. I mean, there was not any farming, because there were some farming fields. There was nothing. No houses out there, no cars. It was just us. So that was a little scary. We did have full cell service the entire time that I could tell. But I mean, you guys, there was nothing for several hours. And then we finally got into this one town, or one little area. We didn't even know where we were. And so I told my best friend, I'm like, look, girl, I got to stop. I have had way too much coffee today. I've also had water, and I have got to stop somewhere. I don't care at this point, since we're out here in the middle of nowhere. If I have to, I will just go out here. I was desperate. And so we did find a place, and it looked rather sketchy on the outside. And so we thought, no, this is not going to be the place. We're going to have to just keep going. We didn't feel comfortable stopping there. But I was to the point, I'm like, I have some hairspray. I'll take hairspray, and if we have to, we'll just use the hairspray to defend ourselves. I mean, it was that bad. So then we decided, well, we think we can wait just a little bit longer. And so we kept going and going and going. Found another place. And it was a nice looking gas station and a grocery store, or a little convenience store. So we decided that we would stop in there. It looked good and clean. And in order to use their restrooms, even though you purchased gas, which she did, you still had to buy something. And I said, okay, I want something else to drink anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get me a drink. So I did go in and I purchased an iced coffee. It was one of those pre-made coffees from Starbucks that you can just purchase. And so I thought, well, this will be good. It'll be a good pick-me-up. I will go ahead. I will purchase this. All is well. So went in there. It's actually a very clean place. But I also got a pack of peanut butter crackers and this iced coffee. It was $8, but I'm like, you know what? It was well worth it, because I am so glad I finally got to have a stop. I finally felt really better. I told her, I said, I think I can go the rest of the way now. And so we still were in no man's land, but we did see some cars, and then after a while we saw some horses and some cattle and even some sheep. So, and we were in Georgia. So I thought that was really cool. So we did make it there safe and sound, and then we went and we checked in. At first they didn't see our names on the on the hotel rooms, and we were about to freak out. So we're like, we did not come all this way, and then for some reason they did not set us up for a hotel room, and we paid well in advance. So they did find our names, and then we went over to the room that they were going to have all of the crafting in, the retreat in. So we went ahead and we went up to our room first, or actually no, we didn't. We went to the craft room, and we went ahead and checked in at the craft room, and that's where you get your room keys. So we went in, we checked in at the craft room, we got a table, and there were just a few tables left because others had already called and said what tables they specifically wanted because they had been there before. And usually it's like first come, first serve, but they went ahead and did it. And we didn't know anybody, we didn't care. So we kind of got one of the very front tables right in the center of the room, which proved to be not a good thing. But anyway, we got all of our stuff out of the car, and we were asked if we needed help. Everybody was super nice, and we thought, well, this is going to be a fun retreat. Everybody is so nice and so gracious. And then we went into our room, and I started looking around. I thought, what is this place? I don't really know what we have done. What is this place? And I knew what the name of the place was, and I knew that it was like a place for retreats. So, okay, get all that. It was actually, I don't know if it's owned by, but it was originally founded, I believe, by the founder of the Methodist religion. Now, I am not Methodist. My friend has gone to a Methodist church, so she knows about Methodist, but it's supposed to be non-denominational on this Bible journaling. And for those of you that are not familiar, it was a Bible journaling retreat. And my best friend and I, we really enjoy Bible journaling. We make cards for our church. And so we thought we'll do some Bible journaling. We'll learn some more in these classes that they were supposed to offer. And then we'll make some cards for our church. And that's what we normally do when we go out of town. And so, okay, we thought, well, this will be, fine. We had two other people sitting at our table. And so they seemed, really nice. And then we went up to our room, and there wasn't much to the room. There was two queen beds, and then, of course, there was a very small bathroom, and we had a refrigerator. So it wasn't that nice of a room, but you don't need really anything because we didn't plan on being in there. There was a small microwave as well. So we ended up getting everything put up, and then we went over because they were going to start at 5:30 doing announcements and different things. And then we went to eat. So that was definitely different. It reminded me, if you guys have ever been to summer church camp, when you were younger, or maybe your kids have gone, it's probably better now than what it used to be, but I used to go every year it was a Southern Baptist, so it was a very strict summer camp. They had you on a very strict schedule. You ate at certain times. Everybody went into the lunch area or the cafeteria at the same time. And then you had to put your plate, away, just like you do for school. You go and you put it over there in a little tray area, and then you give them your tray, and you put your silverware in another place, and they get washed differently. And so we went to have dinner, and I looked at my friend, and I'm like, what is that horrible, horrible smell? And I whispered to her, because nobody else could hear me. And so she said, I think that's our dinner. I'm like, oh, surely not. The food cannot be as bad as what I remember from summer camp. But at least with summer camp, it was kid-friendly. And I thought, okay, if it's kid-friendly, I can eat some chicken tenders or, something like that. No, it was shrimp. and it wasn't fried shrimp. It was kind of like shrimp scampi, but they had just the shrimp. Then they also had some just noodles like you would spaghetti noodles. Not like you would have for shrimp scampi, but like spaghetti. So I thought, okay, I can do this. And so I got that, and then I forgot what the vegetable was. I don't remember what it is at this point. So I took one bite of the shrimp, and I'm like, oh, this shrimp is rather rubbery. And it has absolutely no flavor except it is loaded in butter. So I ate some of it, and it was buffet style. You could get as much as you wanted, but you'd only get one meat, two veggies, a biscuit or a roll, and dessert. So I thought, okay, this cannot be that bad. Well, it was. So we ate a little bit of it, and I told my friend, I'm like, I cannot eat this. I just cannot eat this. And if I eat this, it's going to mess up all of my glucose levels, and my sugar is going to be so messed up. I've got to be really, really careful. So I ate some of it. She ate some of it, and she's like, that was really chewy. And the flavor wasn't just absolutely horrible, but every day the food got worse and worse and worse. So we went the next day for breakfast, and the eggs were like those powdered eggs. So I didn't eat those, and then they did have bacon. Their bacon was nice and crispy, and I love my bacon crispy. So I ate bacon for breakfast, and then once we finished that, I went over and I said, oh, over by the salad bar, they actually have some grits and some wasn't oatmeal. What was it? Oh, it was some fruit that day, and then it was some yogurt. So I ended up getting a little bit of fruit, and she did too. So that was fine for breakfast. And then we had lunch, and lunch was salmon and fried shrimp. So I'm like, okay, let's try this. What's this going to be like? So I tried the salmon. I took one bite of it, and I'm like, I cannot do this. It was really dry, had a terrible taste to it, and then it looked kind of funny. So it had some kind of weird sauce on top, but then when you got to the salmon, it wasn't very good. So I said, okay, this is like a camp. It's a retreat for churches, and so I'm not complaining about the food. It just is what it is. So then we decided we're not doing this. So for dinner that night, we had a salad, which basically consisted of lettuce and tomato and some cheese and then some dressing. And so that was fine. I had that, and then had a roll. And then the next night, I'm like, you know what? I can't do this again. I just cannot do this again. So we ended up going back to the room, and we just had snacks. And then another night, we had fried chicken and something else. And so I thought, well, that may not be too bad. I have to have some protein, or I am not going to be well. And I have a lot of problems with my glucose. So I knew that I had to do something. So I ate a little bit of the fried chicken, which it was edible. It was okay, I guess. And then they had collard greens, and I thought, okay, well, I'll try collard greens. The collard greens were the first things that actually had a flavor to them, but they were so salty that I couldn't hardly eat them. I don't like a lot of salt. And so I ended up putting the collard greens and mixing them in with my lettuce for my salad, and I was able to eat it that way. So I had mac and cheese and collard greens and a salad. So when I came home yesterday, I told my husband, I'm like, I have got to have some protein. I don't care what we have. You can surprise me. I don't care what it is, but I've got to have some protein when I get home. And so on the way home yesterday, we ended up just eating snacks because we just wanted to get home, try to get out of some of the traffic if we could. and we decided, or she did, to go back. She wasn't going to go back through Atlanta, and somehow we ended up going back through Atlanta anyway. And Atlanta, for a Sunday, was so busy. I couldn't believe it. Could not believe how busy that Atlanta was. But we made it. I was so proud of her because I know she doesn't like driving in Atlanta traffic. I don't like driving in Atlanta traffic. I mean, I will do it because I've had to do it for work, but I'm not real crazy about it. And so we made it. She did. I was really proud of her, as I mentioned before, but we did not need half of the stuff. We had a really good time, but I just don't know. But there's other things that happen. I'm not going to go into all of that. But I don't know, because it's more than just doing Bible journaling. You had specific times for specific things, and I can understand, having specific time to eat, but breakfast was from like 7 until 9, and if you weren't there if you did not have a plate by 9 o'clock, they closed up the cafeteria, the lunchroom, and you couldn't get in to even get coffee. And that was the only coffee pot I think that they had. Although we had a coffee pot that somebody brought into our room, into the resort room that we were in, and we just didn't bring any coffee. We didn't want to do that. But I don't know. We're going to think about it and decide. But it's with the lunches, the lunch was from 12 to 1. You had to be there 12 to 1, or you didn't get lunch, and the same thing with dinner. And I noticed that they did have an option where if you did not want to purchase their meal plan, that you didn't have to. And a lot of people, I think, were talking about the food. And so I think that when they do it again, they're going to check in and see. If you don't get the meal plan, you have the option of getting the meal plan or not getting the meal plan. And so if that's the case and we decided to go back, we would definitely opt out. No meal plan, and we would just take our own food and just heat it up in the microwave. But they also had devotionals that lasted an hour, and it was basically like a sermon like you would have at church. And we were not expecting that, and so it was a little long, but we just sat there after the first one, and we listened. We had our backs to the podium because that's how our table was, and we couldn't turn around the way that it was. We just couldn't turn around. I couldn't just turn and look, and just turn my head on from my shoulder and look. I had told them, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. My shoulder does not let me do that, and that would hurt for an hour. So I sat there, I listened, and I did color in my journal and wrote in my journal. And one lady made a comment that was sitting with us that she thought that was very disrespectful, and I wanted to say, well, it's disrespectful for you sitting there talking as loud as you are to your neighbor over there. But I didn't say anything, and I'm like, I can't help it. I can't just sit here and listen for an hour. I have to be doing something. And that's what I had come there for, was to journal, and so I did. I went ahead and journaled, and if that was disrespectful, I do apologize for that, but there were a lot of other people that were doing that. They didn't say anything to them, but we kind of got called out. And, and normally I wouldn't do that. If I was in church, if I was going to a seminar, I wouldn't just sit there and do that. But that's not what I was going there for. And I was starting to get very fidgety, and I thought, I cannot just sit here, especially at 8:30 at night when they had one of them. And I'm like, I can't just sit here and do this. So we did have a good time. We do a lot of things together. We are very good travelers together. We like the same things. We are pretty much on the same time schedule. And so it just works out perfect for us to travel. So they're going to have another one. They've already mentioned it, already put it out there. They're going to have another one in September, October time frame for the fall, and they're going to have another one the same time next year in March. And I know that I cannot go in September, October. That's too soon. I am also doing something in June and July, and so I just can't. that's just too much. And I don't want to go, I don't usually go to a same retreat more than once a year. So no matter how much that we liked it, I still would not have done it again. But, we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see how all of that goes, what we decide on. I really do miss what we've done for the past 3 years. And that was rent a cabin close by too. And we took our own food. We decided what we wanted to do. We slept as long as we wanted to. We were able to just sit back and relax. It was just the two of us. We could, walk around if we wanted to. We could just, do different things. So we're probably going to do that next year. And then maybe in 2026, we might go back to this retreat if they, still have it. But we did have a really good time. I bought some really nice stamps that I can use in my journal. And then also I bought some stamps for my cards that I make for my church. And she did the same thing. We bought pretty much the same stamps, except I bought one more than she did. They had one that is for reading, and I love to read. And so I used to make journals when I would read. Well, not really a journal, just a very short summary of what the book was and the name of it, so I'd know not to go back and read it again. And I haven't done that in a few years, but Paige has been wanting to start a reading journal. And so this one quoted Dr. Seuss, and it had an owl and a couple of other things. So I thought that would be really cute. So I did get that one, and so I spent a little bit more than she did. But I love the stamps. Can't wait to use them. It's very good quality stamps. We bought stamps from this company before, and it was the owner that was doing the retreat. So we got to meet her. And so, it was nice. It was relaxing, but it was also intense at the same time. So, I don't know, but it was relaxing to an extent. For the most part, it was relaxing. Again, it was intense. So, I don't know, but we were right on the water, on the intercoastal waterways in Georgia, and it was a beautiful place. They had church bells that would ring. I think it was every hour, but I'm not really sure because we were kind of far away from it. So I don't know if it was every hour or if it was just at noon and at midnight. I'm not really sure. But I did take some pictures. If I think about it, and I'll try my best, I will go ahead and insert those so you can see. I'm not going to insert the photo of the two of us because I don't want to invade my best friend's privacy. I didn't ask her, and I don't want to put her out there, so I'm not going to do that. I was going to say I could go ahead and I could actually just blurb her face out. I'm not going to do that. I won't post those. I'm also not going to post the group picture that we did. We got matching t-shirts, and so we took pictures on the grounds, and it was actually a halfway decent day. We only had really one halfway decent day. It rained the other time, but we were able to get out and walk a little bit in between rain showers. So it was nice. I mean, it really was. I'm not bashing or dissing the retreat in any way, but it was very, very intense. They couldn't do anything about the food, the one that was doing this retreat, but the food was rather rough. Let's see, what day was it? Friday night, Saturday morning, there were a bunch of kids that came in, and I guess they were doing just a weekend church retreat, unless maybe it started with their spring break, because it's not in where we live. So I don't know, it may have been spring break for them, but they had what I remember very vividly when my mother used to make me go to summer camp. And then I got to where I liked it because I met so many people. But each of the groups had different colors. They went at a certain time for whatever the name of the theme was. And so each of the different church groups had different colors, and we all had flags. Well, I saw the same thing. They had like all blue flags or green flags or pink flags, and they were all wearing similar clothes or the same clothes or dressed up in some way. They had one group that had a pink flag, and they all had tutus on, including the boys, and tiaras. They were probably early middle school. And that was really fun. Then they were doing all these little chants and things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this reminds me when I was 10, and I used to go for several years to church camp, and then I was a church camp counselor when I went into high school. And I thought, wow, this brings back so many memories. And the retreat had a pool, and they had basketball court, and they had a swing area and some slides and different things. And so I think the kids looked like they were having a really good time, but it really was loud. Saturday, we ended up eating at lunch. On Saturday, we ended up eating in a different room behind where the main area is in the cafeteria, because it was so noisy in there. But I mean, kids were everywhere. They were having such a good time. So it's a great place for something like that. And I'm sure kids don't care about food, so maybe the food was fine for them. Maybe it is geared, but I wouldn't think kids would want salmon or shrimp. Maybe fried shrimp. My kids would not touch salmon or fried shrimp at that age. They're barely doing it now. So I don't know how other kids do. I mean, do other kids like that kind of stuff? Let's see. What else happened? Paige and my husband did just fine. He took Paige out to her favorite restaurant while you were gone, and so she was happy about that. I'm trying to see what color I want. Didn't I already have L? Looks like I've already done this. Let's go with G. I don't have these in order, I don't think. No, I don't. And I haven't done this very much. I don't know where any of the colors are. But they went to her favorite restaurant, and they got there at 10 till 6, and it was already a 45-minute wait. And so my husband said, I'm not waiting that long. He said, let's just go ahead and let's just place the order, and then we can take it home to eat. And Paige was all about that. She would much prefer doing that anyway than going in. So that's what they did. They just sat there at the bar and didn't drink or anything. They just sat at the bar and waited on their food, and then they were able to leave in about 20 minutes instead of having to wait that long for a table. They got home. He watched a couple of movies that he didn't think I would be interested in while I was gone. And then Paige watched a couple of things that she was telling me about on Hulu that she thinks I would like, so I'm going to have to check that out. Let's see. Madison called while I was gone. I didn't get her call for some reason. She didn't leave a message, and then I realized that she had called. When I was looking at my call list, it showed that she had called, but I never got it never showed that she had called. So I called her, and she was fine. She said that she had a question, but she figured it out, so I don't know what that meant, but at least she didn't have a problem. If she had had a problem, she would have called me again. Normally when she calls, I answer immediately if I can, and then she had forgotten that I was going. Even though we had discussed it quite a bit, she had just forgotten that I was going somewhere. So she said that her fiance had been feeling kind of bad. She was afraid that he was getting sick, the flu or something, so I hope not. It's really going on around here. And then when I talked to her yesterday, she told me that they were supposed to get 7 inches of snow last night. I have not heard from her, so I don't know if they had gotten the snow, but they said it was expected. They thought that it was going to happen, and so I'm going to call later on just to see or text her and ask her what her weather's like. It is still cold here. Usually in Georgia around Easter, it's not like this. Oh, that's a weird looking, that is a trash drill. Let me pull that one out. It is not the same size as a normal drill. My first trash drill in this kit. That's not bad at all. But she said that normally, you know, she's used to our weather, and she was asking me about our weather, and so I told her that it is chilly here. It's supposed to warm up, but it is very, very windy today, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow, which is today for you guys, Tuesday, and it is supposed to rain on Wednesday, and I think rain over the weekend. But then it's supposed to start getting a little bit warmer next week. Next week is spring break, so I will be home all week, and I am going to work. Why am I missing two here? I'm missing two bottles. I'm gonna have to look for those. I don't think I'm missing any of these, but I don't know why I'm missing two bottles in this case. So I need to check that out. Anyway, I digress. But next week is going to be a time where I'm going to work on getting my summer classes together, because summer starts in May, middle of May actually, so I need to get my classes set up for summer. We have not gotten our fall classes yet. At least I don't think we have. I haven't seen them. It hasn't popped up yet. So I'm going to have to wait on that. But I'll start to get really busy after spring break, because that's when we're getting ready to start studying for finals, and we are getting ready for senior day and different things, graduation, all kinds of things. But I am going to diamond paint next week, and April the 1st is the start of the Josephine Wall event that I am hosting with Angie, Sparkle Addiction. And so I'm getting the information out to you guys. I need to get with her to make sure that we're on the same page with everything. We have finalized our sponsors, and I'm really excited about that. I want to shout out to all of our sponsors. I'm doing that this week, and I am hoping that my canvas from the one with the diamond art comes in. It's in town. It says it was out for delivery, but I'm not really sure if it is. I'm hoping that it will come in this week so that I can go ahead and unbox it. I want to get it kitted up with you guys, and I'm going to continue, because I don't think I'm going to get finished with it. I'm going to continue working on my Josephine Wall Fly Me to the Moon from last year. So I'm working on the one with the diamond art and Fly Me to the Moon. When I get Fly Me to the Moon finished, then I'm going to start on another, I have another Josephine Wall that is from Diamond Painting Deutschland, and I'm thinking about doing that one along with the one with the diamond art. But since I have finished, I'll have that one finished with Diamond Painting Deutschland. I don't know if I want to start on another Diamond Painting Deutschland immediately. So it really just depends on how I feel. I may go ahead and get that kitted up sometime in April and get that one started. But there's other larger ones that's also in my stash that I really want to do. So I may do one of those. I want to do the Spangler that I purchased last year from Diamond Art Club around Christmas, the castle. I really want to get that one done. And I have some other ones that's in my work in progress from last year that I have not finished. So I don't know if I want to start another large one. I may just put that one up. It's not hurting anything. It's been hanging up for over 2 years. So I may just go ahead and just let that one hang up a little bit longer and see how it goes. Just depends what I am in the mood for once I finish that one. But I do want to work on the one with the diamond art. And I'd gotten a notification saying it was out for delivery. And then I've got another notification that said that it's being held up in the warehouse because of customs. And the same thing happened on my most recent order from Diamond Painting Deutschland. And it was held up in the warehouse for customs for well over a week until someone went out there, they looked at it, and they went ahead and they sent it through. And I haven't had that happen before. So I don't know if it was just flagged, if they're doing that now for everything that comes in, or if it was just a random thing. But I don't see how it could be random when 2 different companies, both of them are being held up at a warehouse because of customs. So if I don't get it in by Wednesday, then I am going to do a video that I was going to do for Saturday. I have a small shop haul that I really want to do. I need to get that one because I ordered a couple of trays from Angie. And I want to open them. I haven't even opened the box yet. I thought I'm not going to open this box until I do my small shop haul. And it's time for me to do one because I have some pins. Like the one that I'm using now, I did not do it in a small shop haul. I don't know where this came from. Why do I have this? I don't know if this came from an older kit that was in here. Somehow I have just gotten a symbol here. This is not the same kit. This looks like Diamond Art Clubs, maybe. It's number 21. Okay, anyway, I'll put that back. One of the stickers must have been underneath, and it was underneath a bottle or something. That's very strange. But I do want to do that small shop haul. It has been a while. I've got this pin that I opened it, and I want to go ahead and start using it. So I'll just show that one again, even though I've already opened it. You've already seen it, but I have not seen hers. I have some trays from Bella Art, Dana Cole, and I have a pin from Leopard Leatherworks that's coming in today. I have some cover release paper from Crafts with Crashly. I don't know how to say Crash. Crafts with Crashly. I have that one that I have not opened. It came in while I was gone. And then I ordered from Francesca Studios. She had a buy one get one free of Elizabeth Ward's. And I love my Elizabeth Ward's for my trays or for my containers. And so I'm going to open those just to show you if you're not familiar with Elizabeth Ward. I'm sure most people are. But since it was a buy one, get one free, and it was a good price anyway before the BOGO, I went ahead and did it. So I've got that. So it'll be a short video, but I do want to do the small shop haul so I can have shout outs to 2 of the small shops that I purchased from. I need a G. So I was hoping to do that one. I wanted to do that today, actually. But I just did not get home till late last night. I was tired, and I thought, I just cannot do a video. If I do one, it will not be very good, and I don't want to do that to you guys, and it just wouldn't be worth me even doing it. It wouldn't be fair if I did a small shop haul to the small shops if I don't give the video justice. I'm looking for a lowercase t. That's a plus sign. So that's going to be a video that I do have coming up. And I want to unbox that one with the diamond art. I'm hoping that it comes in this week. If not, then I will show you what I purchased from Diamond Painting Deutschland. I did get 2. I usually but I didn't buy anything from them last year, so I did pretty good. I don't buy from Diamond Painting Deutschland very often because their shipping is rather pricey to the US. And I get it, it's not their fault. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I am trying to save a little money too, and I needed to for this retreat because I knew I would buy some stamps. And now I need to start saving for my next retreat, which is the Great Lakes retreat, and that's diamond painting. So I need to save up for that because they will have small shops there too. I kind of went a little nuts last year, but I'm not going to buy any diamond paintings this year because they sure were hard to get home. I was sweating it a little bit trying to get all that in my suitcase and flying last year. So lesson learned on that one. I'm going to try my best. I think I'm going to take an extra suitcase. That's what I'm kind of thinking. But I do have a lot of work to do in my craft room. I have really revamped it. I'm liking what I did. I'm going to sell my scrap box 2.0, which is the dream box. If you've heard of that, it came from the scrap box. My scrap box is very old, still looks good. I am going to sell it on Facebook Marketplace or just outright. So if anybody is watching this, they are in the Atlanta area and you're interested, then just give me a shout and I will be glad to talk to you about it. I have a couple of other things I am going to sell also that I had as some organizers. I am also selling a bunch of stamps. Stamps that I have not even used on some of them. And they're not all scripture stamps or anything like that. I mean, they are Stampin' Up! Stamps and close to my heart stamps. You know, flowers, butterflies, that kind of thing. So I'm selling a bunch of those because I don't need 10 different butterfly sets or 15 different florals. And how many happy birthday sentiments, you know, or cupcakes and that kind of thing does one really need for a card? So I am going to be working on that. I'm going to do that during spring break. I've got to finish cleaning out my scrap box so that I can put it out there to sell. And I think it's going to go fast. I'm not too concerned about that. And if it doesn't, then I will just donate it. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to go fast. And then I'll just have whoever buys it meet me at our police station that's not far from the house. And my husband will bring it in his truck. We'll definitely need a truck to pick it up. We're not delivering. So whoever buys it will have to be willing to meet us and come and get it. But it has it has opened up so much space in my craft room already. Even though my scrap box is in the middle of my floor in my craft room, it's still, you can tell, it's going to open up a lot of space. And I'm loving how I have the organization done. So I will do another tour of my craft room once I get it exactly how I want it. That may be never, but I'm sure it will be, I'm thinking by the end of the summer I will feel good with it. And maybe even before then. But I am doing some major purging. I just don't need all this stuff. And if I have too much stuff lately, I have been feeling really overwhelmed, which is not a good thing. I don't want to be overwhelmed. I used to not feel that way when I had a lot of supplies. I felt good having more supplies, but now I'm to the point of I have too much. What am I going to use? I need to use all of this. What am I going to use? And I'm dreading getting all of those supplies out of my car and having to put them up. they probably will not get put up until this weekend. Paige and I did go and get our hair done today. I took a little bit of time from work. We got our hair done, and that was nice. Paige's hair looks really good. They always do a really good job on her. I always get the same thing. Nothing changes. Let's see what this section. I'm not going to start on this section because we have been together for quite some time. I'm trying to get this off. I did something really stupid, guys. I couldn't believe I did this. I'm trying to get this off really quick. I have not done this before. Well, I have, but when I first started diamond painting, but not now. I put this release paper down. I thought, I'm just going to do release paper. It's been a while. And I put the release paper down, and then I left, went on my retreat, came back, and then I started looking at this today, and I thought, well, I can go ahead, and this is the one I want to work on my WIP Chat. So what happened? You see some little pink that's on here? I don't know how I did this. This, see how small this is? Well, this one's a smaller size, but this side is your pretty side. This side's the white side. This is the side that goes face up. So this is the side, right, that goes face down. So what did I do? I put it on backwards. I put this face up, so I had all these flowers on my canvas. This is not double-sided for the actual paper here, because you can't print it that way. So you should always remember that whenever you are using any type of covering, whether it is pattern like this for release paper or whether it is just plain release paper, you need to know which side is the correct side. So if you have pattern like this, it makes sense. You just put it on like this and it's pretty. So that's all you have to do. Of course, I don't have this on very good, but I didn't do it. I just was in a hurry, I guess, and didn't think anything about it. Put it on there, and then I realized today, oh no. And it was stuck just a little bit, not bad, but it was stuck enough to where it did stick a little bit, and a little bit of the pink on one of the flowers transferred over onto my canvas, but it's fine. I saved it. This is what this is going to look like. I think she's going to be really super duper pretty, and hopefully I will be able to get more done this week and next. This is going to be a very busy week for me since it is right before spring break. It gets really crazy this week, but hopefully I will have some time that I can diamond paint, and also I really need to continue working in my craft room. Hope that you enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye!